Hello and welcome dear Mathletes once again to Mathlete Minds. We continue our journey of CBSE Class 10 Mathematics, and right now we are focusing on the topic of applications of pair of linear equations. This is the third video pertaining to the same, and in the subsequent videos of this particular topic, we'll be taking up numericals based on different subtopics. Now the first subtopic and the numericals based on that is articles and their costs. So let's see what are the different type of questions pertaining to it. How do we frame the equations and how do we solve the equations? The first question that we have over here is two tables and three chairs cost rupees 2000. Whereas three tables and two chairs cost rupees 2500. Find the total cost of one table and five chairs. Now supposing we assume that the cost of one table is rupees X and the cost of one chair is rupees Y. So these are the variables which are indicators of the cost of a table and a chair respectively. Now what we do is we are given in the first part of the question, two tables and three chairs cost rupees 2000. So it's understood that if one table chair costs rupees X, two tables will cost 2X. Because if we take, say, supposing cost of one pen is 10 rupee, cost of 10 pens will be 10 into 10, that is 100 rupees. Similarly here, instead of the cost being given, we are taking X and Y. So 2X and cost of three chairs will be 3Y. So 2X plus 3Y is equal to 2000. Three tables and two chairs cost 2500. So in the same way, we can frame the second equation. 3x plus 2y is equal to 2500. Now in order to solve them, we can use any of the methods that is convenient to us. We can use the elimination method or we can use the substitution method. Now I want to use the elimination method. So I'll see to it that my coefficient of either of the variables are equated first. Let me equate the coefficient of x. So the first equation I'll be multiplying by 3 and the second equation I'll be multiplying by 2. These are the coefficients of x from the other equation. Like the first equation I'm multiplying by the coefficient of x from the second one and the second equation by the coefficient of x from the first one. Now this is the method of elimination which has been discussed in the previous video. So if you want to have an idea about method of elimination, you can get back to the previous video and see how the method of elimination works. Now the first equation transforms to 6x plus 9y is equal to 6000. And the second equation becomes 6x plus 4y is equal to 5000. So now what we are going to do is we are going to subtract equation 4 from 3. So all the signs over here will change. This will get cancelled. Here we will be getting 5y is equal to 1000. So y is equal to rupees 200. That means the cost of a chair is rupees 200. Now we can get the cost of a table by any of the equations. So let's take the first equation. 2x plus 3y is equal to 2000. So here I am going to transfer first 3y to the right hand side. So we get here 3000 minus 3y. So this becomes, 2000 minus 3y. So 2000 minus 600, that gives us 1400. The cost of a table becomes 700. But the question is find the total cost of one table and five chairs. So one table is 700 and five chairs will be 5 into 200. That is equal to 1000. So 1000 plus 700, that is equal to rupees 1700. So the final answer for the cost of one table and five chairs is 1700. The second question is Reena has pens and pencils which together are 40 in number. If she had 5 more pencils and 5 less pens, then number of pencils would become 4 times the number of pens. Find the original number of pens and pencils. So this girl Reena is having a certain number of pens and pencils which altogether are 40 in number. That means if you count all the pens and pencils, they are 40 in number. So let us take the number of pens as x. X refers to the number of pens and the number of pencils as y. This is for pencils. And this is for pens. These are the number of pens and pencils. Now the first part of the question says that the sum of the pens and the pencils is 40. So we very easily get the first equation. Then the second part of the question says that if she had 5 more pencils, that means if she had y plus 5 pencils and 5 less pens, that means x minus 5 pens, then the connection between the pens and pencils, or the relation between the pens and pencils, would be then number of pencils would become 4 times the number of pens. So y plus 5 is equal to 4 into x minus 5. So this will simplify further. We'll get here 4x minus 20. So we can write this as 4x minus y is equal to 25. After transferring the particular terms, now bring the second equation over here and write the like terms below each other. So we get the second equation in this pattern. Now if you look at these two equations carefully, this is plus y and this is minus y. So we can simply add the two equations and eliminate y. So on adding the two equations, we'll get here 5x. This will get eliminated, is equal to 65. So x is equal to 13. So if x is 13, obviously y will be equal to 27 because x plus y is equal to 40. Let's take the third one. A lending library has a fixed charge for the first 3 days and an additional charge for each day thereafter. Sarita paid rupees 27 for a book she kept for 7 days, while Susie paid rupees 21 for a book she kept for 5 days. Find the fixed charge and the charge for each extra day thereafter. The lending library has a fixed charge, mandatory to be paid for the first 3 days, and afterwards an additional charge for every subsequent day. So this first girl, that is Sarita, is altogether paying rupees 27. And the second girl is paying rupees 21. This girl keeps the book for 7 days and this girl keeps the book for 5 days. Now the question says that it is mandatory that there is a fixed charge to be paid for the first 3 days. So if from 7 days we remove the first 3 days, we will be left with only 4 days, for which each individual day she has to pay one certain amount of money. And here also, if we remove the first 3 days, we are left with only 2 days for which she has to pay the certain amount of money that is charged per day. So let us take the fixed charge as rupees x. So in the first case, the fixed charge is x and the charge per day supposing it is y. So that becomes x plus 4y is equal to 27. Let us assume that the fixed charge is rupees x and the charge per day is rupees y. So with the help of this, we can get the first equation, x plus 4y, because here she is left with 4 more days to be paid. So 4 into y is 27. In the second case, the same becomes x plus 2y is equal to 21. So again, we get two very simple equations. And if we subtract the two equations over here, so this gets cancelled out. 2y is equal to 6. So y is equal to 3. Y is the charge per day. So now let's move on to x plus 2y is equal to 21. And with the help of any one of the equations, I'm taking the second one, we can find the charge for the first 3 days, the mandatory charge. So x is equal to 21 minus 2y. So x is equal to 21 minus 6, that is 15 rupees. So the first 3 days mandatory charge is rupees 15, and after that, for every day that you keep the book, you have to pay rupees 3. So with the help of this, you can calculate what is the amount of money that you have to pay for a book which is kept for, say, 40 days, 50 days, or something like that. Next question is, Seema sold a table and a chair for rupees 1050, thereby making a profit of 10% on a table and 25% on a chair. If she had taken a profit of 25% on the table and 10% on the chair, she would have got rupees 1065. Find the cost price of each. So this girl is selling a table and a chair. This is the selling price 1050. And in the second case, this is the total selling price. So that you need to understand. In the first case, she makes a profit of 10%, and in the second case, she makes a profit. And for the chair, she makes a profit of 25%. In the second case, she makes a profit of 25% on the table and 10% on the chair. So now to frame the equation, we must remember that the selling price is always equal to the cost price plus the profit. So first of all, supposing we take the cost price as X. So cost price of the chair as, let's take the cost price of the table as rupees X. This is the CP of the table. And Y is the CP of the chair. So from the first case, we get here the selling price of the table will become X plus 10% of X plus selling price of the chair will be Y plus 25% of Y is equal to 1050. Now, if you simplify this, we'll frame the second equation later on. First, let's simplify this equation. So this will become X plus 10% of X plus Y plus 25% of Y is equal to 1050. Now, supposing we take the X terms together, we get here 110X 500 plus 125Y 500 is equal to 1050. Take the LCM, transfer the 100 to the right hand side. So 110X plus 125Y is equal to 1050 and 2 more zeros. So this is your first equation. Now in the second case, the question says the profit is vice versa. That is 25% on the table and 10% on the chair. So we can simply rewrite this equation as 125X plus 110Y is equal to 106500. So this will be the second equation. Now look at these equations very carefully. In the meantime, I can even tell you that you need not proceed by this method. If you want, you can take this 1 by 10, simplify this further and take up any method and solve it. I'm taking this method because ultimately if I take this method, the two equations will become very simple at the end over here. So what am I going to do over here? Now, if you remember when we were doing the method of elimination, when we get these type of coefficients like here, coefficient of X in the first is the same as coefficient of Y in the second, and coefficient of Y in the first is the same as coefficient of X in the second. So in these cases, we use the add and subtract rule. So if I add these two equations once, I'll get here 235X plus 235Y is equal to, this will right hand side will be 0, 0, 5 and 11 and 1 and 2. So I can easily take out 235 common. So X plus Y is equal to, now 2115 is divisible by 235 9 times. So we get here 900. So we get a very simple equation now. Similarly, in the second case, I'm going to subtract these two equations from each other. So if I subtract the two equations, what am I going to get here? From the first equation, I'll get here minus 15x, or let me rewrite the equations once again. The first equation is 110x plus 125y is equal to 105000. And the second one is 125x plus 110y is equal to 106500. If we subtract the two equations, the sign will change. So this will become minus 15x plus 15y is equal to, this will become 0, 0, 5 and 1. And this will also carry a negative sign. So now if I take out minus 15 common, we are getting x minus y is equal to minus 1500. So this minus and minus gets cancelled. X minus y is equal to 100. and x plus y, the first equation was 900. So you can see now the equations have been reduced very much. And now if we simply add these two equations, 2x is equal to 1000, so x is equal to 500. And y obviously will be equal to 400. So the cost of a chair is 400 and the cost of a table is 500. But again, I can give you a reminder that if you want, you can even simplify it over here and solve it. There is no issue in that. This is, you can take any method, substitution or any method and solve them up. Next question is, Vijay had some bananas to sell. He divided them into two lots, A and B. He sold the first lot at the rate of 2 for 3 bananas and second at the rate of 1 per banana. Got a total of rupees 400. If he had sold the bananas of the first lot at the rate of 1 per banana and the second lot at the rate of 4 for 5 bananas, his total collection would have been 460. Find the total number of bananas he had. So let's say that this person has two sets of bananas, A and B. Now, in the first category, supposing he has X bananas, and in the second category, he has Y bananas. So now, what he is doing is he is selling, in the first case, he is selling the first type of banana at 2 for 3, and the second at the rate of 1 per banana. So, 2 for 3 bananas, rupees 2 or 3 bananas, and this is 1 rupee, rupee 1 for 1 banana. So if we have to frame the equation, if we're selling 3 bananas for rupees 2, 1 banana will be equal to 2/3 of a rupee. So if he's selling X bananas at this rate, then we'll get the first equation as 2/3 X. And if he's selling Y bananas at 1 rupee, 2/3 X plus Y is equal to 400. In a similar way, in the second category, in the second instance, he's selling the bananas of the first lot at 1 per banana. That means X and 4 for 5, the second lot at 4 for 5. That means for Y bananas, the total charge will be 4 by 5y is equal to 460. Now we can simplify this. We'll get here 2x plus 3y is equal to 1200. And this will become 5x plus 4y is equal to 500, 6533, and this is 2300. Now we can take any method that suits us. I'm taking the method of elimination. So let's multiply the first equation by 5. We'll get here 10x plus 15y is equal to 12560, so 6000. And the second equation by 2, so 10x plus 8y is equal to 4600. So this gets cancelled. Change the sign. You get here 7y is equal to 0, 10 minus 6 is 4, and 5 minus 4 is 1. So y is equal to 200. And x will be equal to 2x equal to 1200 minus 600. That is equal to 600. So x is equal to 300. So the total number of bananas he had is x plus y. That is 300 plus 200, and that is equal to 500. Next one is the cost of 4 pens and 4 pencil boxes is rupees 100. 3 times the cost of a pen is 15 more than the cost of a pencil box. Frame the linear equations and find the cost of a pen and pencil box. Now here let's assume that the cost of pens is rupees X and the cost of a pencil box is rupees Y. According to the question, the cost of 4 pens will become 4x. Cost of 4 pencil boxes will become 4y. This is equal to 100. 3 times the cost of a pen. Cost of a pen is X. 3 times the cost of a pen, that is 15 more in the cost of a pencil box. So y plus 15 is equal to 3x. The second equation. 3 times the cost of the pen, right? So this becomes 3x plus is equal to y plus 15. So this will change the sign over here. Minus y is equal to 15. So we get here two equations again. Multiply the second equation by 4. Equate the y variables. So no need to multiply the first equation by any number. So we get here 4x plus 4y is equal to 100. Or we can even take out 4 common from here. X plus y is equal to 25. 3x minus y is 15. Adding the two equations, we get here 4x is equal to 40. So x is equal to 10. And what about the number of pencil boxes? Sorry, find the cost of a pen. The cost of a pen is 10 rupees. Cost of a pencil box will be 15 rupees. Y will be equal to 15 rupees because x plus y is 25. So if the cost of a pen is 10 rupees, cost of a pencil box is 15 rupees. The next question is, Susie invested a certain amount of money in two schemes A and B which offer interest at the rate of 8% per annum and 9% per annum respectively. She received total interest of 1860. Had she interchanged the amount of investments in the two schemes, she would have received 20 more as annual interest. How much money she received in each scheme? So she's getting annual interest, and there are two schemes in which she's investing different amounts of money. Scheme 1, that is A, and scheme 2, that is B. Now, the first scheme is offering her the interest at 8%, and the second scheme is offering her interest as 9%. Supposing she invests rupees X in the first scheme and Y in the second scheme, she receives annual interest. Now, this 1860 is the annual interest. Now, if she's getting total annual interest of 1860, then 1860 will be equal to, for X rupees, the total interest will be X into 8 by 100 or 8X by 100. And the total interest on Y rupees will be 9 into Y by 100. Or ETR by 100 if you remember the simple interest formula. So we get here 8x plus 9y is equal to 186000. So this becomes your first equation. Then the question says, had she interchanged the amount of investments in the two schemes, she would have received 20 more as annual interest. That means supposing she puts the X rupees in the scheme B. So now she is getting 9% interest. So this will become 9x plus 8y is equal to 20 more. That means 188000. So these become your equations. Now again you notice here, of course we can do it by simple multiplication and eliminating, but again we get here this 8x plus 9y and 9x plus 8y. So if we add them up together, we'll get here 17x plus 17y is equal to 0, 0, 0, 14, 17. So this becomes your first equation, or x plus y is equal to 17 to 34, 2, 2, and 0, 0, 0. Similarly, if we subtract them, we'll get here minus x plus y is equal to, here we'll get 0, 0, 0, and 8 minus 6 is 2, 2000. So minus 2000. Take out minus common, so x minus y is equal to 2000. And x plus y is 22,000. So solving these two equations, x plus y is equal to 22,000 and x minus y is 2000. Adding the two equations, we get here 2x is equal to 24,000. So x is equal to 12,000. So that means she invests rupees 12,000 in the first scheme. And in the second scheme, the amount of money that she will be investing will be, of course, 10,000. X plus y is 22,000. So y is equal to 10,000. So these are the investments in the two different schemes by this girl, Susie. So here it is very clear that these are the interest. So you don't have to take the this is not the amount. So we use the simple interest formula. I is equal to PTR by 100. So annual interest as annual interest. So year is 1, time is 1, principal is X, rate is 8%. So this way we get this 8X by 100. With that, we come to the end of this particular video. Hope you like the explanation. Thank you for watching. Kindly like, share and subscribe to the channel.